Meeting of the Township of Hamilton for Monday, May 20th, 2024. Please stand for the flag salute. Chief.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided pursuant to the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law by posting a notice of this meeting on the bulletin board in the municipal building and by publication in the Press of Atlantic City and Star Ledger on January the 6th, 2024. Mr. Cheek?
Here.
Mr. Laws?
Here.
Mr. Patali?
Here.
Dr. Witherspoon?
Here.
Mayor Schenker?
Here. Can we have a moment of silence for private reflection, please? Thank you. We're going to move on. We have a guest presentation. Safety on the agenda, Joe Henry from Hardenberg Insurance Company.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. It's been a year since I was last here, so I am here to do the annual Safety on the Agenda. As you know, it's required to have Safety on the Agenda at least once a year as a member of the GIF. They put a large emphasis on safety to make sure that your communities are safe and sound. Your safety committee meets 4 times a year. They're up and running, actually 6 times a year. Doing very well. There is a $3,000 award for their efforts, which they did receive in 2023 and are on course to receive that again this year. So they do a very nice job in relation to the whole program, which is established by the GIF. So I will get involved with the accident investigation, which is a topic this year. Our objectives would be when to conduct an accident investigation, understanding the steps involved, and most importantly, determining the root cause, which is really what we want to do, because if we don't find out why it happened, it's bound to happen again. And I'll bounce around on some of these points to make it quicker for you. We'll have an investigation. We're going to document the facts that are found at the scene, determine the cause, and we're going to put corrective action in place. And what that corrective action will find, one of 2 things. It would be a lack of training. If it's a lack of training, we'll see that that person and anybody else that needs it is trained. Any task anybody in the township does, there is training available for that task in the GIF free of charge. Or it could also be an engineering device. If there's an engineering device issue, we'll see that we can get that in place. If it's a budget item, we'll have that discussion, and hopefully we can get that in place. Prime example would be we've seen a lot of back injuries in the GIF over the years from lifting manhole covers. At this point, there's really not much reason to have those because of the engineering devices that are available now. Some important plan highlights: preservation of life is key. If you do have an injured employee, you want to call 911 if needed immediately. Preserve any type of evidence in the event it goes to litigation. Gather your information. And you also want to see that somebody conducts an accident investigation. And who's going to receive that report? It's very important that the person that does that is a person in authority, because we see in a lot of times that the accident investigation form gets completed and it sits on a desk and really nothing happens as a result of that. Follow procedures in your plan. When you report it, we'd like to see it reported as soon as possible. The magic number for an accident reporting date is 3 days. Statistics prove out that if it's reported within a 3-day window, the person will get better quicker, and also the cost is going to be less for the workers' comp claim. In securing your scene on page 6, control access to the scene. You don't want anybody in to disrupt the scene. Use some sort of barriers to keep people out. Don't adjust or change the accident scene, because again, there could be some litigation involved. And also, do what you have to do to move someone that's injured to safety. There's going to be a lot of information to gather. Questions will be plentiful. We're going to want to know who was injured, what caused the accident, where it occurred, when it occurred, how. Don't forget to ask witnesses and get their statements. That can be very important in litigation as well. And the why, which is the biggest question of all, it's how we're going to prevent it from happening again. You're going to view your accident scene immediately. and take photographs or a video. Who doesn't have a phone today that you can take a whole video of the scene? That can be preserved for evidence later on as well. Label and secure your items. If there's any property issues, property damage, for the insurance adjuster, and get those written statements from your witnesses, get them fresh as possible while it's fresh in their mind, the whole accident scene and the investigation. We do have a saying, if it isn't documented, it didn't happen, so you want to make sure those are written statements. And lastly, on the last page, corrective measures and tools. After it's all said and done, what can we do? You could purchase new tools and equipment if it's an engineering device issue. You could redesign a work area. You can improve housekeeping. OSHA's top 10 violations monthly, typically poor housekeeping is one of those, which leads to slips, trips, and falls in the workplace. So we can clean it up if need be. You can add to existing signage. Again, another litigation helpful situation. Remove broken equipment and tools. And you can also improve lighting, which also can help you if you have any type of slips, trips, and falls among your facilities within the township. So that concludes this year's accident investigation. Safety on the agenda. If you have any questions related to the safety.
Anyone have any questions for the dais?
Not related to the safety. Something else.
Anyone? Very good. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Can I ask him another question?
Sure. Joe, hold on. We're not done with you yet.
Not related to the safety. I just have a question. The assessment we pay, is there any plan for that to be changed or made cheaper? I know there's a little competition out there now. I hear about different municipalities are leaving the JIF.
There's multiple JIFs, and we work with several JIFs. And when your 3-year contract is up, typically what we'll do is meet with you and say, would you like it to be marketed? And then we'll go out to any JIF that's interested in quoting it, and then we'll sit down and go over and take the best course of action for you with what you decide and which way you want to go with it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. We have some proclamations tonight. Historic property recognition with Kathleen Gannell, Wendy, and Edward Fitzgerald. Come up. Wow, I was looking for them. I just want to see the name.
Okay, so good evening. Tonight we'd like to recognize 2 buildings in Hamilton Township. Kathleen Canal lives on 6059 Main Street, which is 1.5 story tall, 3 bay wide, 2 bay deep, frame dwelling constructed in circa 1936. The colonial revival detailing elements of the dwelling include massing, possible original wooden sash windows, the portico, and the wooden clapboard siding. William S. and Martha E. Applegate most likely built the residence shortly after they purchased the land in 1936. So we can't tell you how much we appreciate what you do, and I know it's a lot of hard work keeping it all original like that, costly nonetheless. So, on behalf of the Township and Historic Preservation Committee, we want to present you with this plaque. Thank you so much. They're not here tonight, but Wendy and Edward Fitzgerald on the colonial Coleman Mansion at 6028 Main Street. It is a 3-story tall frame commercial building constructed in circa 1890 as a hotel. Defining the elements includes massing and 2/2 double hung wood sash windows. I've been in construction for 40 years plus, and I do not know what that is. Wood surroundings are molded with lintels and a tip of the roof that is covered in what appears to be a flat seam metal roofing. vernacular revival style elements include molded wood cornice with wood frieze. I wish they were here tonight because, again, this takes a lot of money and time to keep these properties up, and we really appreciate what they do. So, yes. So you. Thank you. I have another proclamation here for a gentleman named William Schmidt. I don't believe he's here tonight, so we're going to hold on to this. He's served on the Senior Advisory Committee for a long time, since the beginning. So I'd really like him to be here for this.
I'm back. All right, let's move on. Additions, deletions, late agenda items, we have none. Early public comment on agenda items, excluding items listed for public hearings. Brett?
We have no one.
No one signed up. Discussions, formal action may be taken. The 2023 audit report, resolution certifying that the governing body members have received and reviewed a minimum of the contents and recommendations portions of the annual report of the audit. Has everyone seen the resolution? We need a motion to accept this.
So motion.
Second.
A motion and a second. Are there any questions, concerns? Hearing none. Rita, let's do a roll call vote for this, please.
Mr. Cheek?
Yes.
Mr. Laws?
Yes.
Mr. Vitale?
Yes.
Dr. Witherspoon?
Yes.
Mayor Schenker?
Yes.
All yes and carried.
Okay, we'll move on to B, a presentation for Columbia Care, also known as the Cannabis, 4476 Black Horse Pike, Block 1134, Lot 14, Center Class 5 Retail License Application to the New Jersey Cannabis Regulatory Commission.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to recuse myself.
Okay. They're going to do a presentation? Yes. Okay.
Evening, everyone. Richard Wells from Archer and Grider here on behalf of the Cannabis. As was stated, we're here requesting your consideration this evening for a resolution of support. As you probably know, the resolution of support is not an approval. It represents just one of the many steps that an applicant must take to be licensed and eventually become operational. The Cannabis is a little unique, as you'll hear throughout the presentation. They do have the ability to serve both medical and adult use patients, which is what they are proposing here this evening.
Okay.
So I have two representatives from the Cannabis. We'll have them introduced, and they can get started with the presentation.
Okay. Feel free to sit at the table if you're going to run the...
We got a clicker.
Oh, you do? Whoa, you guys
so
are way
if everyone's
advanced.
okay,
These
I'll
guys
just
are
stand
way
up
ahead of
for
me.
now. Yeah.
All right, I'll shut up now. You go ahead.
Tech support came through. Good evening, everyone. Thank you,
That's right,
Township,
Steve's here.
for allowing us to present. My name is Jonathan Gilbert. I'm the Executive Vice President of Operations for the Cannabis Company. I've been with the company now just over 9 years and was an active participant in our participation in developing, applying, and opening our facilities in New Jersey. I'd like to take you through just a broad sense of the company and our operations in New Jersey and the location that we're applying for. So the Cannabis Company is considered a multi-state operator. We're actually in 15 jurisdictions throughout the U.S. We're publicly traded in Canada. We have about 92 retail locations throughout the country that are either open or in development, and 27 manufacturing and cultivation facilities, including 2 here in Vineland, New Jersey. New Jersey it plays a big role in our company and the success of our company. So it's part of one of the top 5 markets for us in the contribution to sales and profitability. Our New Jersey participation is, we were one of the first licensed medical dispensaries in the state. We opened our first dispensary, medical dispensary in 2000 in Vineland and in Deptford in 2001. We have a 50,000 square foot cultivation manufacturing facility in Vineland, as well as a 270,000 square foot facility also in Vineland that was open 3 years ago. As I highlighted, we also have a dispensary in Vineland, a dispensary in Deptford, and are proposing one here in Hamilton. To date, we just executed a lease, in March at risk for the location in question on 4476 Black Horse Pike. In a slide, we'll walk through what we've proposed as the anticipated timeline for how things will progress. But the next immediate step is obviously local endorsement and submitting our planning board application. So this is our anticipated timeline. Sorry if the lines are going through it here. I think we've been attempting to kind of exceed expectations, be a bit conservative because it is construction and there's a number of factors, but we're anticipating, call it the next 30 to 60 days, getting planning board hearing approval, submitting the site planning, and getting the permits back. We'll spend about 130 to 150 days building out, then to see, get the certificate of occupancy, and then the authorization by the Department of Health to operate as a medical facility initially. As you can see from this floor plan, and apologies, it's pretty small, but the facility, the only facility that we could find is actually much more space than we need. The footprint itself is approximately 16,000 square feet. We need probably less than a third of that. As you can see, we're planning to build out that top right-hand corner and leveraging the existing entrance that's right there in the middle right of the building. But we are leasing the entirety of that building and have no plans to sublease or anything at this point. So we're paying for more than we need because we like the location. Excuse me, this is a zoom in on the floor plan of what we're building out. So as you can see across the top in the red block, those are going to be the dedicated points of sale for medical patients. And there's a patient consult area up in the top right-hand corner. So, I'm going to hand it over to my colleague for the next few slides, and then we can open it up for some questions.
Good evening. Thank you. My name is Mallory McCarthy. I'm the Vice President of Operations Management at the Cannabist. I've been with the company for 6 years, primarily focused on the build-out and development of our cultivation, manufacturing, and retail sites across the country, including our Vineland and Deptford sites that John also mentioned, and it's a pleasure to be here. So as John mentioned, we love the site. Some benefits to the community that we've identified is the tax benefits and some community initiatives and support, which I'll share in just a bit of some we've already been doing in the municipalities and townships we're already a part of. In general, our investment in Hamilton that we've already shown. We have a patient access plan. First and foremost, our focus is on the patient, our medical patients. So everything around the design and the building of the facility and how we approach operations is geared towards patients and customers. So that includes patient-only hours, reserved parking, patient access hotline and counseling, and just virtual meetings with patient caregivers, and just continued access to medical cannabis products. So finding out what products patients are looking for and making sure they're in stock. This will mirror our operations that are, again, medical focused in our Vineland and Deptford sites. So we look forward to continuing that in Hamilton. A little bit more about our focus on social equity. We have a focus not only in New Jersey, but around the country in our hiring efforts. So you can see some statistics around hiring employees in CRC designated impact zones or minorities and females. One important note is positions of management. We ensure that out of the 3 top candidates, at least one is a woman or a minority in that final candidate pool. In terms of outside of hiring, diverse vendor service contracts and partnerships, already have many in process and plan to have a few more. That includes co-manufacturing agreements as well as wholesale supply agreements as well. We do a lot with community outreach, engagement, and donations. Just a list of some of them: Shiloh Baptist Church, the Bud Tenders Bash, and Benebis Health Partnership. A couple more on the other page. You can read through these, but we are committed to promoting medical cannabis in New Jersey and working with other companies that promote it as well, and making sure we're good stewards of the community. Couple of other highlights: the Minority Cannabis Academy, and these are through either monthly donations for other places as well, in addition to sponsoring events that align with our mission and goals. One more item we'd like to highlight around the benefits to Hamilton is the location in itself. We looked all throughout South New Jersey and really honed in on Hamilton. This particular location at 4476 Black Horse Pike has public transit, which is important to our medical patients and the bus routes. The site has a signalized intersection, ample parking, and adequate interior circulation infrastructure. We believe that the location also complements our other operational dispensaries in Vineland and Deptford, in addition to our cultivation manufacturing centers in Vineland. Just a quick overview of the site, and a great pylon sign there to show where the site is, and can see right on the main route there. A little hard to see, but a great location in a heavy trafficked area. And the red box there is the actual site that we're leasing. As John mentioned, we'll be utilizing the front part of the building for the public access, but it's a great location, and we look forward to operationalizing it. With that, thank you very much. John, Rich, and I are happy to answer any questions, and in the appendix there's some photos of our other operational Deptford and Vineland sites if anybody would be interested. Okay. Thank you.
Anyone have any questions?
I do.
Go ahead, Thelma.
First, it's an excellent presentation.
Thank you.
I really like it, and I like the way it was presented. I just have one question. Did I understand you to say you already have the lease? Do you have a lease?
Yeah, we have a conditional lease that we've signed, but in many cases we proceed at risk at our own expense. In some cases, starting even building, but we have the right to terminate without certain approvals. So there's a way to terminate the lease if we had to.
My only question is, how do we? I know it's owned by Lomax, and you're renting the unoccupied space. Did they give you like another number to separate them from the Lomax?
We consulted the lease. It's at 4476. So we haven't been assigned a unit or anything yet for that kind of block. But we can definitely clarify that with them.
Yeah, so that would be great, because when you pull up the address, it says Lomax.
Okay.
You know, so
yeah.
Just something to differentiate, Columbia.
Definitely, and we would want that. Obviously, yeah. We don't want to create confusion for any patients or customers, so we can find out how we designate that, and make sure it finds its way to the internet so that it helps with search function. So.
Yeah, that's my only question.
Okay, great.
Anyone else?
I have a question. It's not, directed to this location, but you do have another location in town that you're building, right? Is that correct, that you were already building or something? Is that?
Yes, that is correct.
What happens with that particular property?
Well, we own that property. We don't have an intention to utilize it for the purpose of our business, in other words, a retail dispensary or anything. So I think we'd be interested in exploring, possibly the development committee or someone to talk about what our options are there in selling it or repurposing it. So we're open, but we're not going, we have no plans to use it for dispensary. This is our preferred location.
Okay. All right, thanks.
Yep.
Very good. Anyone else? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Very nice. We have a resolution before us granting local support for the Cannabis Company Alternative Treatment Center Class 5 retail license application to the New Jersey Cannabis Regulatory Commission. So this would be for our local support, letter of local support. What's your pleasure?
So move.
A second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any questions or comments? My only comment would be, thank you for sticking with Hamilton Township. You guys have been through a lot of issues with the other site, and we understand that it, however it came about, it really doesn't matter, but it wouldn't have been surprising if you took your ball and went home, but you decided to stay here, and we appreciate that. So with that, Rita, could you give us a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Cheek?
It's not here.
Oh, sorry. Mr. Laws? Mr. Laws?
I said yes.
Mr. Vitale?
Yes.
Dr. Witherspoon?
Yes.
Mayor Schenker?
I'm going to abstain.
3 yes, 1 abstention. Motion carries.
Next, we have a resolution authorizing the execution of an escrow agreement with the Cannabis Company, who is the conditional developer.
So moved.
I'll second. We have a motion, we have a second. We have any questions or concerns?
I mean, I've already stated my
Okay.
concern.
Yes.
So as long as
Good to
that's-
move forward?
We can move forward.
Okay.
Just to make sure that I don't know how we would implement that in the document.
I think that would have to be in the redevelopment agreement, correct? So that will be clarified.
Okay. That's it.
Just
Very
a
good.
quick question.
Sure.
How was it done prior, when it was like Toys R Us and the Office Depot? Okay. Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? Rita, could we have a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Laws?
Yes.
Mr. Vitale?
Yes.
Dr. Witherspoon?
Yes.
Mayor Schenker?
I will abstain.
3
Thank
yes,
you.
1 abstention. Motion
Okay.
carries.
Thank you very much for coming. Appreciate your presentation. Anything we can do for you, let us know. I'm going to wait this time.
I'm going to go get them.
Yeah, I'm going to wait. I usually just blow right through. Richie's going to start to take it personal.
You're right.
Welcome back, Rich.
Thank you.
Okay, let's move on to number 4, public hearing, adoption of ordinances. We have ordinance 2075-2024, an ordinance amending the Article 2, Chapter 66 of the Code of Township of Hamilton, providing for the maximum number of employees. Before we go to public hearing, does somebody want to review what the reason for this ordinance, so those who've not heard?
you want me to go through the whole synopsis or
Can you,
condense it?
so basically, we are realigning some of the positions in Public Works.
We're going to realign some of the positions in Public Works to fund the titles through the grants that we have, Clean Communities and Recycling Trust. We are going to increase the maximum salary for the JIP Fund Commissioner. And we are going to create 2 part-time positions at the Cove and increase the salaries
Okay,
this coming year.
thank you. This is a public hearing. Anybody in the public like to speak?
Motion to close public.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, close the public portion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. We'll move on to an adoption of ordinance 2075, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions, concerns? Rita, can we do a roll call vote for this, please?
Mr. Cheek?
Yes.
Mr. Laws?
Yes.
Mr. Vitale?
Yes.
Dr. Witherspoon?
Yes.
Mayor Schenker?
Yes.
All yes and carried.
B, ordinance 2076, 2024, an ordinance amending Chapter 163, evacuation, excavations.
You in construction?
I am, and excavate, but I'm a plumber.
You're ready to retire.
I should have retired last week. Excavations of Chapter 203, Land Use and Development of the Code of Township of Hamilton, County of Atlantic, and the State of New Jersey.
Thank you, Mayor. This is an update required by the Pinelands to update the storm water requirements. For the committee's purpose, we did receive word that the planning board reviewed this, and they have found that it is fully consistent with the master plan. So this just updates both Chapter 163 and 203 with the Pinelands.
Okay, very good. This is a public hearing. Anyone from the public like to speak?
Motion to close public.
Motion, do I have a second?
Second.
We have a motion, a second, close public portion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. We will move to an adoption of the ordinance 2076, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any questions or concerns? Hearing none. Rita, can we have a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Cheek?
Yes.
Mr. Laws?
Yes.
Mr. Vitale?
Yes.
Dr. Witherspoon?
Yes.
Mayor Schenker?
Yes.
Been adopted.
Introduction of ordinances, we have none. Moving on to number 6, awards, bids, contracts, change orders. Resolution approving the 2024 Use of Facilities Agreement between the Township of Hamilton and Mays Landing Athletic Association.
Motion. Oh, I'm sorry.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments?
Question.
Go ahead.
I had called earlier about this. The agreement includes MLAA and HYAA, and I wanted to know, should the resolution reflect both?
If I can address that, this agreement mirrors the agreement that went through HYAA at the last committee meeting. So this is the other half of that. So it's a binding agreement between the municipality and MLLA because as of the last committee meeting, HYAA was put on the same terms as COLI.
I get that, but what I'm saying is the resolution does not reflect the agreement. It just says MLAA and not HYA. It doesn't have both. It's in the agreement. The agreement is correct,
Correct.
but it's not in the resolution.
It's because the agreement is not a tripart agreement, and which means that this resolution or this agreement wouldn't bind under this one, HYA, which is why we had separate agreements. In the future, we may pursue a tripart agreement, but there are dual resolutions, one for each, with mirrored terms.
I didn't see the other resolution for HYA.
That passed last
Okay, that's correct.
committee meeting,
That's-
correct? So we had that one.
All
This
right,
is the
so-
other half. and
okay.
essentially, they
I got
bind
it.
equally.
All right, I got it. That's it.
Okay. Where were we at? Did we have a motion?
And a second.
We had a motion and a second. I want the record to reflect that Committeeman Laws has stepped away. He has a conflict in this situation. All those, oh, no, this is, we'll do a roll call, Rita?
Mr. Cheek?
Yes.
Mr. Vitale?
Yes.
Dr. Witherspoon?
Yes.
Mayor Schenker?
Yes.
Oh, yes, and carried.
Okay,
Somebody want to go get Mr.
Okay.
Laws?
thank you.
You don't want us to forget it again?
Oh, well, yeah, it's, you know.
Thanks, Carl. You know, if you didn't say anything, nobody would have noticed. We just would have kept on going. Welcome back. Okay, so B, resolution amending a contract for the cooperative fleet maintenance and management services, bid 2021-04, to change awardee name from First Vehicle Services to Transdev Fleet Services Incorporated. So this is the same contract, it's a name change.
That's all it is.
Okay.
Motion.
Second.
We have motion and a second. Any questions or concerns?
Question.
Go ahead.
Is the new company all public works certified and all the other requirements from DPMC?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so I don't think I need a roll call. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
A roll call on this.
You want a roll call?
Yes.
Wow.
Rita? Somebody's a little cranky tonight, so we're going to do a roll call.
Yes.
Mr. Laws?
Yes.
Mr. Vitale?
Yes.
Dr. Witherspoon? Mayor Schenker?
Yes.
Oh, yes, and carried.
Thank you. Consent agenda. We have A through H.
I don't know if anybody else wanted to pull anything. I didn't have anything, so I'll.
No, I think we're,
I don't want to pull anything, but I did want to discuss E.
So then we'd have to pull E.
Pull E.
okay. Do you have a question, Bob?
It was just a simple question about the fireworks. That's just for sale, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm good.
Okay, so the chair will accept the motion A through D and
A
F
through
through
H.
H.
Okay. So moved.
So moved. We have a second?
Second.
Any questions, comments? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the ayes have it. We're going to now look at E. Chapter 159, resolution to insert item of revenue with offsetting appropriation for national opioid settlement proceeds in the amount of $57,118.33.
Sorry.
I have to say so moved. You gotta, is it already?
You had a question? No.
I do have a question.
Okay.
The, this settlement that we will receive will bring us up to a total of $108,102.52. Same question I asked last year. I'm asking again this year. What services have been put in place, or at least started, with this opioid money settlement, because it's a huge problem. And it's not just a huge problem in Hamilton Township, it's a huge problem in our county. And just to know that we're doing something to assist any way we can, can't stop it, but maybe we can try. But just to pile the money up and I don't see anything, I mean, what's the point of getting the money? That was my question. I don't know who's going to answer the
So
question.
the county started a task force, and Hamilton has a seat at the table. Lieutenant Mike Burgess, our representative of the task force, and they're trying to come up with this is a county problem, a county-wide problem, trying to figure out how to spend the money. We're not the only ones holding dollars for this settlement, and right now we're looking at possible expenditures towards our EAP program. But we still have no.
You said EAD, is
Our
that?
EAP program, or Employee
Employee.
Assistance Program. But we still don't have a solution for the chunk of the money.
And the only reason why I'm saying that, because we have some rehabs here in Hamilton Township. You know, Recovery Centers of America, we got John Brooks, we got things here, so I just don't understand.
But
That's
both of
cheaper.
those are currently involved
with the county. I believe I see our chief is making his way down.
Yeah.
I did attend a couple of meetings last year with that, and it was still a lot of discussion about how the county was going to spend the funds. So hopefully our chief has a little bit of info.
Like Mr. Knowles said, so it is going to help out our employee assistance program, as well as we are working with the county in reference to subjects that have pending court cases. That some of that money might be used for their recovery. Someone said they're going to jail, they're going to get help and to recover and everything. It's an ongoing process. It's something like the administrator said. It's a countywide problem, so we don't want to just use our money and be selfish. We want to be able to, as a county, put all our funds together and get the biggest bang for our buck. So that's the most important thing. And then it might also be able to be used to purchase medical equipment to reverse the effects of COVID.
Like Narcan?
I'm sorry.
Like Narcan?
It can be used for Narcan, but it may also be used for like the defibrillators and everything like that. So there are other things. It's very hard. It's not cut and dry how to spend it. So we're trying to work through it and figure out exactly what we can spend it on. But it does appear that we made some progress on what we can use it for. So it's a rough road.
I understand. It's just that next year, this time, we're going to get another some money. So there'll be 3 years worth of money. We haven't done
The
nothing.
thing is, we're all in this together.
Right.
To the county. So, we're going to resolve it or figure out what we're going to do with all this opioid money in the whole county to try to help everybody out.
All right. Well,
We just don't want it to be wasted.
I understand, but hopefully by next year, when we receive some more money, yeah, that we've done something. We could say we done one thing, whether we got a defibrillator, we got some Narcan, we've done ADDs, yeah, anything. I just wanted to bring that point out.
Very good. Thank you.
So, before you go, Chief, a simple question though. So the whole county is getting this money and nobody's spending it? Is that what I'm to understand?
Yeah.
And no one's used it, everybody's kind of waiting?
I don't want to say nobody used it,
Mhm.
but the money's being spent very slowly because they make you jump through so many.
There's a lot of stipulations on what you can use it on, how much you can use it. And like I said, the couple of meetings that I attended, in the beginning, there was a lot of, we don't even know what we can do yet. So it was kind of, it's a bit of a learning curve.
So is there a set of guidelines that was put forth along with the
Yes.
book of guidelines? Okay, all right, very good. All right.
Okay,
That's it.
okay. We have a motion.
I'll move 7E.
I'll second.
Second. Are there any questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. So, number 8, personnel. Try and get through this as quickly as possible. We have a resolution to appoint Cove staff for the 2024 season, 2022, 6/22/24, 9/2/24. Do I have to read all of them off?
No, not unless any individual committee member has a conflict that they need to be pulled.
Okay. Is everybody all right with this list as it sits before you?
To hire people 1 through 12.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
A motion and second. Rita, let's do a roll call for this, please.
Mr. Cheek?
Yes.
Before we go to roll call, can I just ask a question here? Is this the entire staff, like, all the positions are filled now, we're okay for the summer?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Mr. Cheek?
Yes.
Mr. Laws?
Yes.
Mr. Vitale?
Yes.
Dr. Witherspoon?
Yes.
Mayor Schenker?
Yes.
All yes and carried.
Thank you. Number 9, approvals, minutes, regular meeting minutes of May 6, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any questions or concerns? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Bills, bill list total, $2,884,157.91.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Rita, can we have a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Cheek?
Yes.
Mr. Laws?
Yes.
Mr. Vitale?
Yes.
Dr. Witherspoon?
Yes.
Mayor Schenker?
Yes,
All yes and carried.
thank you. 10 reports. Mr. Administrator.
I have nothing to report tonight.
Excellent. Mr. Solicitor.
Nothing to report, Mayor. Thank you.
Mr. Engineer.
Ditto, nothing to report. Didn't want to bust it open there.
No, that's all right, that's all right. One thing that Committeeman Cheek and I were discussing the other day is the condition of the mall. Exterior. I know the interior has its problems, but the exterior of the mall and where they're not grooming things they should be grooming. Is there something we can do with
Funny that you had mentioned that, Mayor. We had just recently sent a letter out, I believe it was on Friday, correct? And it was warning them to do action within the next 15 days, or the town solicitor will be informing them of a lien that would go on their property
Okay.
if they don't maintenance their basins that we've been trying to get them done for the last year.
Yeah, the property in general, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
overall.
So this seems like something we go through with them every time the grass gets tall.
Yes.
Is there something we can do long-term? I mean, this is, you know, if you go by there, you'll see it. I mean, I understand that maybe they're not doing so well, but that's not really the issue here.
It's something, Mayor, that I can review with Mr. Watkins, and we can absolutely pursue any remedies possible.
Okay, because I'd like to stop this every spring from there on. Okay? Thank you.
I have a question on the same item.
Sure.
The maintenance bond, is that a bond or is that escrow?
I believe it's a cash bond that's with the clerk's office or with the town. That could be pulled to do the work in there.
Now, with a cash bond, is that totally cash for the amount of the bond or a percentage?
No, it's a total cash surety.
So once we have the attorney take care of it, we can pull into that funds and not deal with the bonding company / insurance company.
We'll have to take a look at
We
it.
can take a look at it, but with notice, that seems like
Yes.
appropriate.
I think it's time for something like this because we tend to talk to these folks over there, and I think we've been nothing but nice to them and understanding of their situation, and yet they ignore us on a consistent basis, so.
Concur.
Yeah. Okay?
Yep.
Thank you. Township Committee members, Dr. Witherspoon?
Well, yeah, you know, I always have a report. First, I want to apologize. My allergies are acting up very bad here tonight, but I do have a report on some things that I have done during the township. On Friday, I went to the Old Crest High School, and there was some area residents or former residents that was inducted to the Wall of Fame at Old Crest. Daryl Camper, William Cheatham, Commissioner Amy Gatto, and David Tobias. It was a very, very nice event that was held. I didn't get a chance to stay for the concert, but I thought that was very nice. Also, I did go by where cookies. What is it?
Crumble?
Crumble cookies. Yeah, crumble cookies. And Starbucks and all of that. They were out of commission for a few days, but they're back in commission because I went before I came to the township to get a hot chocolate just to make sure that it was working. So they're back up and running. We have a new Dollar Tree in Hamilton Township. I did go and visited that. I missed the ribbon cutting, which was on May the 5th. But I did go to the Dollar Tree. It's very nice. It's large. It's just a little more convenient than the other one. But it's very, very nice. Last but not least, Memorial Day ceremony is coming up on Monday. And I have been asked to sing the Star Spangled Banner and God Bless America.
All right.
So I just wanted, that service will be at, dedication will be at 11 o'clock a.m. on Monday. And that's my report.
Thank you. Committeeman Patali.
As Dr. Witherspoon said, the Memorial Day ceremony, Monday, 11 a.m., War Memorial Park. Come hear her sing. She sings very, very well. But come and pay remembrance to those who took care of us. Really nothing else really for me. So I'll just say, Reagan, I'll see you later. Maddie, miss you, love you, hope to see you soon.
Thank you. Committeeman Cheek.
I visit the Leipzig Field House. They're moving right along. They're ready for paint. Pretty soon they'll be planting grass, so that means that they're basically almost done, which is nice. Also, I went to Hess School on Saturday for the resource fair, and what a showing. I've never been there before, and it was just really, really a heck of a showing. It was put on by the NJEA, and it was just a heck of an event. And if I could say, after being in construction for well over 45 years and being in commercial kitchens, the kitchen at Hess, which is over 30 years old, looks brand new with the original equipment, and we have to hand it to the kitchen staff. They are taking the greatest care of any commercial kitchen I ever saw. And that's all I have.
Very good, thank you. Committeeman Laws.
Yes, I also attended the resource fair with Committeeman Cheek, and just an awesome event. Was really impressed by the Civil Air Patrol and the number of summer camps that they have set up also. But the Civil Air Patrol has a drone program that they have, it's kind of new. They didn't have it when I was in the Civil Air Patrol 100 years ago. You had to turn the props yourself. But it's really, really advanced, and the kids, if you know any kids that are, going to high school, I think this is a great opportunity for young ladies and young men to get involved in aviation at an early age. So that was one of the things that stood out in my mind. Also, to Committeeman Cheek's point, the kitchen and the kitchen staff over at that school was just phenomenal, and what they've been able to do there is just nothing short of amazing. It's got to be the cleanest kitchen I've ever seen in my life, and I've been in a lot of restaurants and owned a couple, but it's amazing. It's amazing what they've been able to do. And last but not least, last week we lost a young lady, 7 years old, that was a cheerleader for the Knights organization. She was laid to rest yesterday. But I got to tell you guys, please, just value your children, value your loved ones, value your friends, and make sure you tell them you love them every day, because you never know. You just don't. 7 years old is way too young, for a parent to lose a child. And I just wish that you guys would keep Carter and her parents in your prayers, and her family. But that's a tough one. It's a great loss, because she was a great young lady to Hamilton Township. So that's my report.
Thank you. It's very sad, very sad. I just have a couple things. I did not have the opportunity to get to the resource fair, but I've been there before, and it is quite amazing and well worthwhile. I want to thank Dr. Jerry Nelson and all the staff out there that do an amazing job, and it never ceases to impress when we go there. Like stated here before, Monday is Memorial Day. We will have Memorial Day proceedings. Do your best to make it out there. It's just not another holiday. It's the holiday where those who gave the most and give us the ability to sit here today. So think about that a lot over the weekend, and the simple things that you do. Without them, you wouldn't be able to do it. The other thing I'd like to say is congratulations to all the members of the Wall of Fame, the people who are put up there, but especially Amy Gatto. Amy Gatto sat up here for quite a few years. Not only has she been here, she's a county commissioner, and she's spent a lot of time giving back to her community in one way or another, and we're very proud of her. We're very proud of her accomplishments. That's all I have.
I just have one more thing.
Sure.
I just forgot to say, kudos to the Hamilton Township Police Department. They went for a training at the Atlantic County Special Services about a week ago. And we were the first police department to go through the training with people with disabilities. And the prosecutor has asked, we're like a model now. So I was kind of excited about that. Has asked for all of the police departments to go through the same training, but we were the first. So I wanted to say something about that, and I forgot to say that in my report.
Very nice.
Not a beauty model, Greg.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say it, Carl, but now that you brought it up.
I saw him over there get all
Yeah.
excited. Like a hand model.
Going like this with his hair? Yeah, I saw it too.
Nah, good job.
Okay, thank you, everyone. I'd like to open up to public comment. Anybody in public like to speak?
I'll make it quick. I wanted to bring up a couple things. Schools will be closed, as you've already said, for Monday, Memorial Day. So we will be closed on the 27th. Additionally, as the school year wraps up, we have several field trips planned. So I guess, be safe around the neighborhoods, especially around Shaner. We're taking our little ones to the library and also to the ice cream store or shop. So please, if you're out in the area, just if you see a whole bunch of kids, please take extra care while transiting around them. We did have a resource fair, and I was lucky enough to have two committee members. We walked around and made introductions. And yeah, the Civil Air Patrol has quite a program that they put together with Hess. Our goal is to now bridge that into Oakcrest or one of the other Greater Eggs. And the idea will be we pre-train them, get them all ready to be certified to have their drone licenses. And when they come of age at 16, the plan is to then bridge them and get them their certifications. Along with that type of program, like our medical program, the idea is that a child will be able to come out of Oakcrest or similar with either a partial degree or a meaningful license or something they can do something with. So if they're not college bound, like some of our students, they will be able to go right into the workforce and have an early upstart, and stuff won't, they don't have to go get their license or pay for it. The schools will pay for it. The other thing is Shaner will be having, so our youngest ones, that school's bells will be changing next year. We're shifting them an hour earlier so that we do have some fallout from the parents. So instead of the kids getting out at 3:30, they'll be getting out at 2:30. I don't know if we talked about this before, but that's because of our school buses. We will be taking on our own school bus scheduling. And the result is we're saving almost 20% on our school buses. So as prices go up, we're trying to counteract it without having to charge our taxpayers more money. So that simple change for us has almost saved $1 million. And then on top of that, we are purchasing our own buses, and our first set of buses will be available before the end of the year and take our 8th graders to the Cove. So that is our goal, is to get those buses online, trained, all that kind of good stuff, and have our first inaugural bus trip, if you will, for the Cove. And then those buses will be used for after-school activities, ad hoc requirements for some kind of having to go pick up some kids for whatever reason, because those traditionally cost us about 2 to 3 times the going rate, because we can't plan for those a year ahead of time. So the school bus companies that we align with usually like to overcharge us for those, as their prerogative is. So this way we have a set of buses that we can use instead of that. So if we're like on a school trip, if we're going to the bowling alley or the skating rink, those buses would cost us about $2,000 per bus to take, and our operating cost for that same bus is $200 a day. So just on a trip like that, we'll save ourselves, it'll be a tenth of the price. And then one last thing is we do have, for anybody that's ever tried to use our use of facilities forms, we have a new calendar on our webpage, so you can start to ideally sign up for any use of any of our facilities, including the swimming pool, anything that you want to host at one of our schools, as long as it doesn't conflict with our, requirements. But that calendar is now online, and we're fine-tuning it, but should make it much easier to use our facilities. All right?
Very good. Thank you. Anyone else in the public?
Motion to close public.
Second. We have a motion and second to close public portion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the ayes have it. Take a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and second to adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the ayes have it.